45 seconds to go to the start of this race. This is the first race of the day. This is one of the cringe clubs, Twilight Harbour. I've never ran this race, but I've ran this course before, and I love doing this Maker Island racing. The beautiful scenery. I do a lot of group rides on this race, on this route, so I'm used to the way it looks. It looks very Japanese, Japan. It's really nice. It's a very lovely place to ride. I love the scenery in Zwift. They really do overdo it sometimes. With this race, I think it's a 13 miler. So this is where I've been saying I was going to do longer races. This day I did a 13 miler and I did an 8 miler later on, 9 miler later on. So it started 1 and we're off. Now with this race, I know this one doesn't have a lot of super hills, but they do have one where you go up it's like climbing on the roof of a building, kind of. But I don't know if that's part of this route. I've never raced this route before, so this is something new to me. As we get started, I try to pull off on this one, and I'm gonna try to maintain close to 450, 500 watts on this thing the whole race long. I know it is mostly flat, but I've rode this with group rides. I've even rode this on a group ride in a Class C. This is the one where I have ridden with Class C on this ride, and because this is a much faster, I don't know, it's a much faster ride, especially when it's mostly all city, especially when you stay inside the city. This is a very, very fast race. And I really enjoy this race. And I'm riding with about 24 more people. And this is one of them races where I look up and I don't try to leave everyone just outrun folks. I'm just really trying to maintain a speed and maintain a pace. That's my goal on this. And then when I see people right behind me for a while, I kind of push myself more and more. I've noticed that some of the races that I race in, we're all pushing each other pretty hard. And it's really fun. I enjoy the push. I enjoy the runs. But like I said before, I'm a Class D rider. I've tried to ride with C's. I have on this route. This is probably the only one I ride on with Class C's in Watopia. I think I would try to do the beach loop with Class C's. But there's only Pacific rides, because outside of those rides, Class C will crush me. And it's not that I'm feeling bad about it. It's just that I know that as of right now, I cannot compete with them guys on different routes except selected routes. But these routes that I'm selecting here are the rounds that everyone else, I don't want people thinking I'm cheating because I'm beating people openly, but there are runs that I do where I'm starting to do more hilly routes. Hilly routes, I've said it over and over again, and I'm not trying to keep saying it, but the hilly routes are really my enemy. As you can see on these roads here, I've said I've ridden these before. This is a 0 climb, and I'm at 28 miles an hour on this run. And I can maintain this on Maker's Island. I don't know why. It's just one of them things where I can run really fast on this. I've broken a lot of my own pace records that I have for myself. This is one of them things. Like now, I think I'm doing a mile every 2.5 minutes. So you can see that I'm moving pretty good, and that's about when I'm racing, about when I'm at. But I can go even faster on this course. This course is all these streets, all these courses. They just, some about them there, I don't know if they're just super flat and it just allows me to build the momentum up, but I can really, really run on these roads. And I enjoy these roads, but I don't stay here because there's not a lot of hills in the city. So I'm starting to move out further. Now this does have hills. When you go outside the city, there are hills, but there's not enough for me to really be pushed that much. I love this. And I really enjoy these races. Now, I do have people getting upset at me about some of the races I'm in. And like I said, I select my races by the time I wake up, because I work out first thing in the morning. I don't eat. I drink a little water, and I come downstairs to my gym, and I get on my bike. I set up everything, and I work out. Those are the times I work out. I work out early in the morning. The earliest race I've ever done, because I woke up just to wake up in the morning, I think I did a 3 o'clocker. For the most part, I do 5 o'clock, 5 a.m., maybe 4:45. I usually wake up at 4 o'clock. By the time I get my laptop up, I get my Mac set up on the stand, get the bike all ready, get everything lined up, it's 5 o'clock and it's time to race. Now I'm leading this race, and like I said, this is a race where I can maintain 25 miles an hour. And as you see, I'm mostly sitting around that area this whole race. 24, 25, we got 11.1 miles left in this race. We're 4 minutes and 25 seconds in, and I'm at a nice steady pace, 450 watts, 80 pedals per minute. My heart rate is as I've stated before, 145, 150 is the sweet spot for me. 150 is where my heart rate is like really where I can push and feel good. Anything above that, I'm starting to push myself. I'm gonna tire out eventually. Anything below that, I'm gonna push myself, and I just keep riding, but I'm not really pushing myself through, what is it, zone 2? I'm trying to stay close to that spot where when I'm trying to ride a group ride, I try to stay in zone 2. That's where I'm starting to learn that I burn more fat, especially with the longer rides, the hour ride, an hour 40-minute ride. Those rides in zone 2, about 140 beats a minute, 145 beats a minute, that's where I want to be at with those rides. I don't want to get too much higher than that, because I will tire out way before I can get into a 2-hour ride. I enjoy these rides. Like I've said before, they're very beautiful rides. You can look at the scenery, the bridges, the flow of the ride. I look down, I'm 24 seconds ahead of everyone. I'm not doing anything different. I don't believe people really understand that I am a heavier guy. So my wattage may be way up there. It's I think I'm pushing 2.5 for the most part, 2.7 in that area. It's 450, 460 watts. And I'm really enjoying this, and I'm not having any problems keeping up with everyone. And I'm leading folks on this because I think what happens is, because I am a bigger rider and these are really flats, once I get going and I can sustain this power where I'm putting out, I kind of just build on the momentum. I don't really slow down unless I really come off the pedals. So as you see, I maintain 25 miles an hour, and I think that's where a lot of people go, well, you need to move up. And I like I said, I've tested it. I try to ride with the C's every once in a while just to see where I'm at. But these are the only courses that I have a chance. I don't want to win everything. Don't get me wrong. It's not about always winning. It's about, you don't want to always lose. And you'll see me, I do get beat in Class D a lot. So, and that what motivates me to stay in D is because I'm not dominating. It's just, a lot of times, it's 24 riders in this race. A lot of time, there's races where I'm in a race with 50 people and I come in 6. There's races where there's 30 people and I win it. And those are the give and goes of the flow. But the ones that I'm losing are the ones that I'm not avoiding. That's what you have to understand. The ones that I lose are the ones that are really healing, really up and down. I don't give up. I don't surrender. I find little reasons in those races to stay in the race. And it may be, I wanted to catch up to someone in front of me. I want to prove to myself that I can finish that race. I'm trying to get people to understand that I don't want you to give up on these races. I'm doing this race and I know I'm leading and I know I'm winning, but I find little things. Okay, let's see if I can get, how fast can I get to this next, can I run this first lap as fast as I run the second lap, or can I run the second lap faster? There are things that I find in these races I try to push myself at. Can I maintain 450 throughout this whole race? So I'm not trying to just beat people. Just things I find in these races that are helping me move on. I am doing longer races. This, like I said, this is a 12-miler. Don't get me to try to change it over to kilometers. I will mess it totally up. I started to learn like the burrito is a non-draft one. I only think that counts for people right around me, and I still do hit it. You'll see me hit the burrito and count it off. And the reason I do that is because I've earned it. I'm not gonna trash it. I don't think you can trash it. You might can, but I know that when I'm looking at it here, I see it, and I sometimes just hit it just to hit it because I've earned it, and I feel like if you earn something, you can just go ahead and hit it and get rid of it. And I'm looking back at the people behind me, and it's like 8 or 9 of them. No, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 8 of them that are in the same pace group. And when I'm riding, I'm concentrating on going forward. I don't think about the people ahead of me. All I'm thinking about is just going forward. What I'm trying to say, I don't look at the scenery. I don't try to see everything. I'm just thinking about racing. And in my mind, when I look down, all I can think of is I've been on courses where I'm 39, 45 seconds ahead, and one hill puts me behind everyone. So I decided then that I was just gonna always push. And if I come to a hill that's gonna be really high, I'm just gonna have to push through that hill, and hopefully I've built up enough distance in front of people that they don't pass me. And there are races where I'm gonna get demolished. I know that. But it's not that because I lack of trying, and I know it's more my weight, but that's, to me, it's just another excuse. I know I bring it up a lot, but it's just another excuse. I'm doing the things now to lose the weight. I'm doing the things now to get help. There are a lot of people on Zwift who have lost a lot of weight. Some of them is, I like watching YouTubers like Benji Nasson. He has a YouTube channel. I think on one of his things he talks about he lost 20 kilograms. I should have looked it up and found out what it is in pounds, but I didn't. But he's a really good rider. Jay Moore Cycling, he's another heavy rider that I watch all the time. And he has lost a lot of weight riding. He does a lot of marathon. And he does a lot of street riding too. Now there's Ryan Cundum that I watch all the time. And he does a lot of ultra marathons. He built a Zwift cycling setup in his house. He rides the bike a lot. I think he's British, he's in London. So is Benji Nasson. I don't want to say what he's at. Don't get mad if you ever see my video, Benji. I gotta look back and see where you're actually from. But his YouTube channel is very good, very real made. These are the guys that inspired me to do this. These are the guys that inspired me to start Feminist. It's not a lot of heavy guys. I'm gonna put it out there. I weigh myself this week every first Saturday. First Saturday of the month, I will be weighing myself, and I will post what I weigh. I will let you know that the first Saturday of July, I want to say I was 405 pounds. Let that sink in. I want to say that I've been putting down because I gained a little bit over May and June because my daughter graduated and we had a whole bunch of parties, and I really didn't maintain what I was doing. Sorry about that. So when I first started, I was like 386, 390 pounds. So I gained a couple of pounds over that time where I was just kind of binging out over May and June, the graduations, the parties, all that. I had a lot of fun over those months. So I'm back really. I started racing, I want to say June 29th. And so now I'm really focused on my weight, but I want to say that first week, last week in June, I weighed around 405 pounds. So I will say that, and I'm gonna show my weight loss as I go. So I want y'all to ride with me on this journey. This is a journey of life. This is a journey where y'all gonna watch me lose weight, and hopefully I motivate some of y'all or some people to lose weight. This is not just for small people, and you will understand that I will lose weight on Zwift. I do not ride outside. I don't ride my bike outside. I don't have a bike ride outside. I'm fearful of riding outside because I've had 2 major knee surgeries. So I don't want to get out there and stumble and fall. And I see guys doing it all the time, and I feel real comfortable. I feel really proud seeing bike riders around Atlanta riding. I'm from Atlanta, and I like watching these guys ride around. I like watching them ride. I don't have the courage to do it now. I don't want to mess my knees up. So I ride in my house, and I have a setup. I will put the setup on one of the channels when I get ready to start showing, because people have been asking me what equipment I use. I do use a power meter on my bike. I have a Soul SB900, and I do have the Accessory power meters. I have the dual power meters. I have Zwift Play on my bike, and that's what I use to measure. The power meters are really good because I've bought stationary bikes that have the magnetic resistance, and somehow, I guess because of the power I'm putting in them, I actually overheated the wheel or whatever, and it always ends up, the computers always end up messing up on them. So I bought the power meters, which are very expensive, but I bought the power meters so that I could not worry about burning up overheating the computer on the bike. So this is one of the things that I use to help give me accurate measurements of what I'm putting out. So that's no cheating, that's accurate measurements of what the power meters are saying. I had them calibrate to saying what I'm doing. So as we come around, you see I'm in the second lap. I'm still at 450, 500 watts in that area somewhere. I'm still riding about 23, 24, 25 miles an hour. I'm at 14 minutes in, 14 minutes and 48 seconds in. It's 6 miles. We got 6.9 miles to go. I'm roughly halfway through this race, and I do feel it, but I'm trying to stretch it out. I know that there's no hills, don't get me wrong. This race, I'm not trying to go, I'm trying to build a lead over the hill. I'm racing myself at this point. I'm finding little things to keep pushing myself. I want to also push myself because I try to look at the end of the race. I try to look at where my times compared to the Class C times, compared to the Class B times, like I said, compared to the Class A times. What I'm trying to do is see if I can keep my pace up further enough that I compare to the C's. So that gives me another measuring stick of how close I am to them. And like I said, at 150 beats a minute, 79 pedals, I'm about 80 pedals, 85 pedals usually it is. I'm comfortable. This is a pace that I can ride. If I decided to ride today and just do a 25 miler, I can comfortably keep 350 on the power meter, 79 pedals a minute, and like I told you, 146. I know I'm slowing down on this lap right here a little bit, but I'm 6 miles in, and like I said, normally I only do 10 miles a day. Plus, this is a little longer race. It's 13 miles roughly, and I'm dedicating myself to do much longer races. And in the morning, I will do greater hill climb, but I don't want to move up to Class C because there's category restrictions. So if I go up to Class C and race in Class C, some races I can never come back down to D, and that's why I don't move up. I don't want to be forced to be stuck there, so I won't move up right now. But I will do more challenging races for my weight that'll give me a chance to show people that I am really the size I am, which I will be posting, and then also that I am trying to show that I'm doing the things to help lose the weight so I can motivate somebody else who's trying to do what I am doing. So let me go back to the race now. I've spoken up. We're coming up on 7 miles on this race, 5.9 left. Just clocked 7 miles in. We're at 17 minutes and 25 seconds in. As I say, when I'm back doing the voiceovers, looking at these races, that's when I get to actually see what's around me as I'm riding. And this city they created in this game is beautiful. You have to admit it. And I see things in here that I don't see when I'm normally riding. But these cities are gorgeous. Even if you look over at the map, and it's at 1% that I'm climbing at. If you look at the map is beautiful. So they really do a good job. I enjoy the street signs, the people walking up and down the road. I'm still pushing roughly close to 400 watts an hour. I'm pushing close to 400 watts. I'm at 82 pedals, 147 heartbeats. I'm closing in on finishing up the second lap. I'm at a 2% climb. And even at a 2% climb, you can see if I don't prepare before I get to the climb, I lose power. I lose speed. That's where I run into a lot of my problems. And I can't just say I'm gonna lose 400 pounds in a week or two. It takes time. This is not a sprint per se. This is a marathon. And my goal is to get to the point, my dream goal weight is 225, 200 pounds, right in that area. That's where I want to be. And I'm thinking if I can get down to that weight, still pushing the power that I'm pushing, I can compete in B's at least. At least. Now I know these guys, don't get me wrong, these guys who are in A, I think I seen it the other day, one of them was like 77 kilos. And I'm going, wow, them guys, I'm 180, I think 170 kilos. I'm like, I'm still I'm double what I'm more than double what he weighs. So we're back to the race and I'm at 7.8 miles in. We're at 19 minutes and 36 seconds. I enjoy it. Like, it's hard not to look at these cities and not to think about the writing on the Japanese writing. I want to, don't get me wrong if I'm wrong, but the Japanese writing on the walls, the scenery. It's a lot of things I see as I'm riding for the voiceover that I really enjoy. And I just saw, I don't know, that is a train or whatever, and I'm just crossing 8 miles on here, and I'm coming up on the last lap. And my goal with this now is I'm trying to get to the point where even when I got laps and I get to the last lap is the push it lap. That's the lap where if I got 4 laps, the third lap will be the lap where I kind of I try to maintain a certain number where I can relax kind of, but not too relaxed so I lose anything, but just maintain so that when the last lap come up, it becomes a push it lap, a lap where I'm trying to extend myself. And when I look down at the race and I look down at the people racing behind me, I always notice who's grouped together. And them guys are pushing each other. So while anybody around me pushing me, the only thing I have to judge myself on is the times that either I'm ahead or I'm behind. So right now I'm ahead, I'm a plus 50 seconds on the next 3 guys. So by me seeing that, all I think about is, can I increase that time? It's not me trying to just blow people out. That's the only measuring stick I have right now. And there's 24 people in the race. So when I do come into these races, I see 24 people in there. My goal is I'm thinking these guys gonna really push me. And I think sometimes the problem I run into with D's, are there are a lot of people who get in D's who would just start, like when I started out, I waited till I was level 20 to race. But there are some people who race right away. And your endurance is not built up enough to race right away unless you've been riding bikes outside. Your endurance is not built up enough. So I don't want to crush them people's spirit going, man, I got on here and these guys just run past me in D. It's no, don't look at it that way. I'm just a guy who's, as a bigger guy, I am a little bit more healthier for the size that I am. I do other things, like I roll and I walk on my treadmill and I have a mirror that I do exercises on. So I'm a bigger guy, but I'm more in shape of a bigger guy. And I'm really trying to become a smaller guy. I really want to be a smaller guy. So I'm looking forward to these journeys that I'm on. And that's why it's called a journey, because that's what you have to be on to do this. Now we're closing in on 9 miles. I'm at 8.9 and we're getting close to 9 miles with 4 miles left to go. This is the last run around. And and if you can see, my heart rate is 150. My wattage is about 415, 404. And my pedals are at 85, 82, somewhere in there. I'm trying to keep the pedals up a little bit, but I am getting tired because normally, even on a normal day when I'm not trying to really beat nothing or get crazy, I mostly just try to get on here in 30 minutes and wad out 10 miles every day. My goal is 300 miles a month just on the Zwift. I try to get about 60,000 meters on my hydro a month, and I do my mirror for I do 15-minute sessions, so I do about 3 or 4 hours on it a month. So those are my goals, and I try to keep those goals. I'm really narrowing it in on my eating. I'm keeping an eating journal for anyone who wants to know some of the things I do. I will be posting a video soon on me doing meal prep for the week. I prep for the week all the time. I have to. If I don't, as an over-the-road driver, which I'm only going 3 days a week, but as an over-the-road driver, them 3 days can be disastrous for me. Because if you don't prepare your food, if you don't plan your week out with what you're gonna eat, you will eat anything. And I noticed that these guys who ride these bikes, especially when you get to Class B and Class A, these guys are professionals. And I know they plan their meals out. I know they understand their bodies. So these guys are really good. And I want to get to that spot. That is my goal. I have a vision board on my wall. That is one of the things on my vision board, is to get to Class A eventually. And it's going to take a while, but my first step is to get to Class C. And the step before that, actually the pre-step, is to get hefty enough to dominate in Class D. And that means not just dominating on these flats. That means dominating in these hills too. Being able to place in the top 10 on every race I do. That's the way I look at it on my hydro. No matter what I do, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30-minute courses, no matter what, I must always be in the top 10% of everybody on the hydro. I don't care if there's 10,000 people on the hydro. I have to always be in the top 10%. And that's my goal every time I hop on my hydro. And my wife goes, well, that's very competitive. That's the way I measure myself. And so I've learned just to do that. And I know I do a lot of cardio. And I know I need to do a little more strength training, but I do have a shoulder that's rotator cuff is really tore up. And I'm eventually going to have to get the surgery done to it, but after having 2 knees rebuilt, I don't feel like doing it. And I got another burrito. And I know these burritos, I'm back at the race, I'm looking at the burrito that I got. And I know these burritos are for undrafted, and I guess that when I'm in most likely at Zwift Insider. Don't let me get you. Zwift Insiders are very hard for me. But I don't know what the races are, and them guys can race. Let's just get it straight. They can race. And I enjoy racing with them. And so, this is one of the last races I'm gonna do before I talk about the Zwift Insider. Like when I come back to the Zwift Insider, I will, when the first one, after that first one, I will say it during the race, and I will put it in the descriptions below the race. I'm going to do that race, and I'm going to post my weight in that race. At the end of that race, what I weigh, because it's the first Saturday of the month, so I will post what I weigh in that race. So every first Saturday, I will be posting what I weigh. So if anybody ever wants to see what I weigh or what I'm doing, you will always know, because I am holding myself accountable, and you can see me as I hold myself accountable for what I'm doing. And this race, I'm down to 2 miles and 2.4 miles left in this race. We're into 26 minutes and 25 seconds. And you can see that I'm riding pretty good. I've come down a lot, but my heart rate is still 151. And it's because I'm starting to go past what I'm normally used to doing. I do 25 miles, I do 20-mile rides, but I only do those about 3 or 4 times a month, maybe 5. Because my goal is, like I said, my goal is 300 miles a month. So sometimes I have to do those for the days I miss when I'm out of town. I come back and I have fresh legs and I really kick it in. This race right here is off of me being on the road and coming back home. And my legs are fresh for the week. So I really can ride pretty good because my legs are really fresh. And this is a day where I think I did this race early in the morning, 13 miles. And I turned around and did a 10-miler that afternoon. A 9-miler that afternoon. And we're coming up on 2 miles, 2.1 miles left in this race. I'm looking at the race, and I'm seeing that I'm a minute and 10 seconds ahead. I'm not trying to beat the people out and whatever that's behind me. This is just me trying to push against myself. My goal is to beat myself at this race, and I'm doing it, I think, at a good steady pace. I'm feeling this thing. I really am feeling this race. If you see the picture over there, I am sweating up a storm, and I'm feeling this race. And like I said, I see things on here now that I'm doing back to voiceover, like this pink thing in the sky, and I have no clue what it is, but it's really beautiful to look at. But like I said, when you're riding the race, you don't see anything. For anybody else who rides these races, you don't see that. You're just trying to get through these things. You're just trying to finish them. And I'm looking at the map and I'm realizing how much further ahead I am than everyone else. But in my mind, sometimes I'm thinking, I gotta push even more because one hill, I know there's no hills on here, but when I'm riding, I don't consider that because anytime I do run up on hills, people really do catch me. I guess I have hill phobia. I guess that you can honestly call it that, hill phobia. The one thing I feel is that I must keep pushing myself. If I don't keep pushing myself, I'm gonna run it to the point where people will catch up to me, people will pass me, and I don't want to feel like I gave up because I went long. I want to get to the point where I can ride 40 miles on this bike, on Zwift, and maintain a very powerful output of 350, 400 watts, going at about 3.0, by the end enough weight off that I'm running 3.0 at 400 watts. And I'm just really pushing myself. I'm maintaining 25 miles. On here, I got a 4% incline. And if you notice, my wattage is coming down because I didn't prepare before I hit it. And you notice my numbers are really falling. I think I came down from like 20 miles an hour, 22 maybe. But if I don't prepare for a hill, as you see here, I will get crushed if somebody was right beside me because you just zoom right past me. There's no competition in that for me right now. So I try to prepare for the hill. Now, I hadn't been looking at it as I've been riding this ride. Probably in the race I did see it, but I am getting close to the end and I'm getting tired. So, like I said, I'm trying to have these fast burst finishes. I recorded a race today, which is Sunday. This is Thursday race, but I'm recording this. I'm doing the voiceover on a Sunday. And I recorded a race this morning. I did the Torture Fest, and I blasted the last lap of this. It was 6 laps, I want to say, and I blasted the last lap, and I was so tired that I stopped Zwift, and I made a mistake and hit exit out of OSB, the studio I used to record this on, and I lost the race. I was so upset at myself, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm trying to blast at the end, especially when the numbers start coming up or you got 1,000 feet left. I want to start blasting those in so I can get better at finishing a race with power, because I know some races there are going to be people who are going to be close to me, people who will chase. I did a race last week where I want to say it was the 3D where I was chasing C's the whole time. I didn't realize it. I was just trying. It was fun to chase these guys, but if you notice, anytime we hit a hill, they would leave me in an instant. It was like I was standing still. It wasn't even like I was part of the race. And that's the issue I run into. And so I want people, I'm saying this a lot because I want people to don't think that I'm some kind of cheater or something like that. And I know if you've been following me, you know I'm not. But I don't want to get other people hyped up and go, I can do this too. You can't. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Even for me, there's a lot of time it takes to get to a certain point. But if you stay consistent and you stay on it and you watch what you're doing, you watch your meals, you watch what you eat, and you start working on your weight, you start maintaining what you're doing, you're going to get to whatever goals you have set. And that's my goal for anyone who's trying to do what I'm doing. And that's what I'm trying to do when I see somebody else. Like when I see Benji Nasson, or I see Ryan Condon, or I see Jay Moore cycling. When I see these guys who have done the things I'm trying to do, I get motivated. I watch their videos. I watch them all the time. When they put up a new video, I watch it. And I see where they've coming from, and I see where they're going. And it's a great joy to watch these guys race. And so if you see if you watch my content, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to it. Give me comments, give me feedback. I really want it. It's not like I'm doing this going, no, I don't want your feedback. I want it because positive feedback telling me, hey, Ty Diddy, you need to do this, or hey, you can try this, or hey, have you thought about this? Hey, I was this heavy and I did this to lose this weight. Any of those comments are greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching this race with me. Thank you for being there and seeing what I'm doing now. It puts me on everybody because nobody's finished behind me yet. And then eventually it moves me over to, I think I come back in and check it and it moves me over to D. But right now it puts me on everybody, I think because I'm finished up before everyone else. And when you go to D, it's got that. I don't know why I did that, but eventually when it comes back around after a minute, it puts me back at top. But thank y'all for watching this race, and y'all have a great day.